we've got a lot of work to do. We kept it vanilla. Our offense is very vanilla. We don't have any of the bells and whistles that people associate with the pistol. We don't have any of those in right now. We wanted to install the fundamental base of what we do in the pistol, the tempo, so to speak. Some of the formations, some of the motions, and so it was just very vanilla. But I'm pleased with the way our players have responded and tried to learn the concepts and things like that. There's a lot of growth still left in that they got to understand how to practice. They got to understand how to prepare. They got to understand what we mean when we say tempo, and playing fast and things like that. But we've got time. We don't have to be ready today. So I feel good about it.
Other than I think towards the tail end of the game, one thing I noticed that you guys did unique for the spring game was it was live on the quarterbacks. Just can you explain a little bit of that philosophy? I know that could be a risk.
It could be a risk. I feel like in our offense, the quarterback needs to be a threat to run the ball. I think that's important in making the defense have to cover the entire field. And so we couldn't get the feel for exactly how our plays are designed if the quarterback is not live, or at least semi-live. And that's really what he was. He was semi-live. In the pocket, we wanted them to leave, quick blow the whistle, if you will. I couldn't think of the words, but we wanted to blow the whistle quick and protect them in the pocket. But if they pull the ball down and run it, he's live. If we ran a quarterback run play, he's live. And so we experimented with that early on in spring. Our players understood what we wanted and were able to execute that, and so we felt good about it going into the day.
I wanted to ask you about the quarterbacks. I know last year, some weeks it was Brandon, some weeks it was Jameson. Chris got to play a little bit. Just from what you've seen of those guys during the spring, I know it seemed like Jameson did a really good job, especially in that first drive in the second half. Just how would you assess your quarterback situation right now?
Jameson's our starter. He's earned the job. He's not just starter by default. He's earned the job. He really understands to a certain extent. I mean, he's not fully understanding yet, but that comes with time and with reps. But he's a guy that has earned the job, and we've named him the starter, and I thought he did a good job today.
What about that first drive of the second half? It seemed like the offense was really clicking in a way that it didn't in the first half. Yeah. What do you feel like you guys did well during that stretch?
Well, we went back in the locker room and we made them understand what we were asking for. And we tried to do that on the sideline, but it's difficult when you got all the different elements involved. So we were able to make some adjustments in the locker room, and I'll be honest with you, it was a good rehearsal for us, because exactly what we did when we went in the locker room is exactly what we'll do on game days in the locker room. We talked about things that they didn't see that we thought they should have seen, things that they thought they saw that really wasn't what they saw, and it showed itself in the early part of the second half.
I think by our count, Brandon Eldermeyer had 20-plus carries. How big of a part of the offense is he, and how much are you going to need the newcomers to come along to kind of supplement his load? Brandon's
huge, not in stature,
right.
But his contribution is huge. He's a guy that really can be a breakaway threat. He's a guy that when the ball gets in his hand, he could be trouble for the other team. And so. In our offense, that's what we want. Now we got to have running backs that can be a threat to score at any time. Our quarterback needs to be a threat to score as well, and then we need to have receivers that can kind of be the playmakers. And so we're looking for that combination of guys. And again, we don't have to find those guys today, but we like Brandon Eldermeyer, and we like Jameson.
What does that process look like, just moving forward of kind of installing all the bells and whistles? I know when you guys get back, you got a certain amount of days where you can have 2 days where it'll be really intensive. What does that process look like of installing the whole offense and being ready on August 31st?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. When you've got more time, when we've got more practice opportunities available, then we can be more sophisticated in our install. We felt like in 15 practices, there's no way we could do the entire offense any justice. And so we selected the things that we felt like were most important for us to understand conceptually, and that's what we put in this spring. But when we come back in the fall, all gloves are off. I mean, we're gonna put the whole shebang in. We're gonna throw it up on the wall and see what sticks.
All right, then. And last question, I kind of throw your softball. What was it like being at Louis Cruz? Having a little bit of alumni, a little bit of tailgating, and that whole environment. For the first time.
Well, the feedback was tremendous. All I've heard was, this is unique. We hadn't had that many people at a spring game. I don't know. I wasn't here, but the feedback, like I said, was tremendous. I feel really good about it. I actually had a good time today. I mean, it was a festive atmosphere. If that's what it's like on an April afternoon in spring football, oh God, October 4th is going to be ridiculous, and I can't wait.